Welcome to Rebel Chaser. My name is Gail, and I have just one video for you tonight. It's going to be kind of a short evening, and this is with Judge Sam Meyer at the Thurston County District Court in Washington. He's hearing an application for a personal protective order in which a guy just isn't taking no for an answer. He just isn't taking it. So I'll let you guys watch.
So Ms. Vanacore, Mr. Riccobono, he filed something in the court file. Did you get a chance to see that and review it?
I'm sorry, say that again?
He filed a fairly long written statement.
No, I didn't see it.
Did you see that?
No,
It was filed on the 16th, it looks like,
no.
4 days ago. Can I print this one here? Okay, I'll see if I can print it. I'm gonna print it, which hopefully will come out right here. And I'm gonna give it to you and let you read it.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Take a minute to read that. This is the last case we have on today. We got all the rest of the morning, so take as much time as you need to read that, please.
It is double-sided.
I'm just gonna, the first paragraph.
Okay, just read the whole thing, ma'am. Then we'll swear you in. We'll get underway. That's why I want you to read it so you can respond to it. Okay. So ma'am, could you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear and affirm the information testimony you provide will be the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Tell me how you need an order against Mr. Riccobono.
We were not dating. He just arrived at my apartment 9 o'clock at night, uninvited, unannounced. My blinds were closed, tapping on my window. I'm in my pajamas, and this is an absolute lie that the intercom is always broken. It is not, absolutely not. You have to be buzzed into my apartment. So you walk into the first set of doors, it's open. There's an intercom there. You press the 4 buttons that go to my name, it rings my phone. And then if I want to let you in, I hit the button on my phone and it opens the doors. But that's an absolute lie. I came to the window with a smile. This is absolute ludicrous.
Okay.
Ludicrous. And with that case he had against him, that I was like, you know,
Okay, I'm not interested in that other case.
No, I
ma'am.
know,
The
but
only
that's
thing
what-
in front of me right now, you're asking for an order against him. That's all I
Yes.
want to hear about.
yes. I didn't appreciate him coming to my house 9 o'clock on a Sunday evening, tapping on my window, creeping around.
Had you been in a prior relationship of some kind?
Yes.
Okay. And then when was the last time you had heard from him?
Around November, Thanksgiving.
Okay,
I was at the gym and he kept calling my phone,
okay.
asking
And-
me to spend Christmas with him.
Okay, did you communicate with him at all?
I told him just to leave me alone. And then I blocked him. And then he, yes, opened up an account under his Chihuahua. And that's how he contacted me through Instant Messenger.
And when did he do that?
In December sometime.
Did you communicate back with
No,
him?
absolutely not. Nope, I never answered him. I blocked it.
Anything further after that?
No, I blocked them until that evening.
Okay. How did things end when things ended? Were they, you seem pretty
I
adamant right now.
I didn't care for him any longer. I just didn't want to be with him any longer. So he just didn't get the message.
Okay. Mr. Riccobono,
Yes,
could you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes.
You can put your hand down. How'd you get in there?
What's
She's
that?
saying that the intercom,
First of all, you can't enter her building unless you go through the double doors like she's saying. So there's an intercom in the vestibule.
right?
In the past, we met in July and we dated through mid and October. So it never would work in the past. She'd always have me call her. She's like, that thing never works. And even the night I came Sunday, I tried to make it work. So when I walked down the sidewalk, her blinds were open. They were at like barely a tilt. And so
Okay,
I just,
so were you outside the building when you were
Yes.
knocking on her window?
yes, sir. Her unit is on the first floor. And there's a sidewalk along the parking lot, and then the
Okay.
building, it's just a small grass and a garden.
And she had blocked you from previous accounts before, she was telling me?
So I just want to respond to her statement. So
I mean, that's a yes or no question. She did or she didn't?
she would block and unblock. That's what makes this, so that's what I'm trying to say is,
And then she told me she told you in October that she didn't want to hear from you again, basically.
yeah, the breakup was not ideal. She had a lot to drink. She gets feisty. I've always handled it with patience and grace.
I have pictures on my
Okay, so hang
phone.
on, ma'am. I'm hearing from him now. I'll give you a chance to respond. I just like to hear from one person at a time. What I don't like is the back and forth. So I'll give you a chance to respond in a minute.
Ms. Vanacore is a very good woman. So sometimes when she's had too much, she gets feisty. I never brought it up. I never made it an issue. I probably should have at some point, but I would overlook it and just ignore it because I know she's a good person. Then the last time we saw each other, we went to dinner. And then she just started a fight. So instead of just saying, in my opinion, you want to break up or how you feel, she just create a fight. And that's her way of ending things. So that I didn't hear back. That was Saturday night into Sunday morning,
This wasn't back in October.
mid-October. Yes. And then I got a text from her the next day, Sunday evening, and she just said, I'm not the girl for you. And something to that effect. So I wrote back, well, I'll always, beg to differ, and I'm here. A lot of our relationship, there was back and forth. We were together and then we broke up at one point.
But
She
then you
said,
contacted her again sometime later after that, then she blocked you.
this
You
is
remained blocked.
my point is, she said, don't contact me. I don't ever want to see you. And then we end up getting together again for another month and a half. So my point is, it wasn't that I was trying to disrespect her or ignore her. There was always this back and forth. I just thought if I could see her and talk to her, because we got back together, it was because we were face to face talking. So by February 4th, right intentions, I was just trying to talk to her. I didn't mean to upset her. I didn't mean to alarm her. Regarding the Facebook account, I have a Facebook account. One of my dogs has a Facebook account. It's been there I didn't create this to reach her. It's been there for 8 years, maybe 7, 8, 9 years. It was from my old neighborhood. It was a running joke. I wrote, it was just there. So a lot of times she would block, unblock, block, unblock. Sometimes we would text, sometimes she let me call her, sometimes she wouldn't. It was one of those kind of things. Not ideal. And I really liked her. I was just holding on. I thought if we could see each other, we'd be good. So
Do you see how upsetting that might be if someone, and it wasn't super late at night, but I know given the time,
yes,
it was dark.
I
in the
immediately
dark, someone knocking on their window from
yeah, no. So
so to speak, or out of the dark, I guess.
100%. I'm very remorseful about it. I felt like the worst feeling was that, she wrote in the petition, I got to look over my shoulder. She does not need to look over her shoulder. I was just trying to reach out to her. I can't. I mean, the officers they were like, it's 8:30, 9 o'clock at Sunday night. And she said, you're her ex. And she said, I'm her ex. They go, yeah. So, because at the end she was saying we weren't even, I wasn't even her boyfriend. So I just was like, I told him I apologized. I had the right intentions. I wanted to give her a gift and try to talk to her because we had got back together when I could just talk to her. It was stupid. I shouldn't have been there. I should have got the hint and the message.
I think we can agree on that.
I should look. The feelings are gone. She didn't, she felt then or over time. And, I just really liked her and I thought I had to tell her and at least show her. Because I just thought I should take the chance and let her know. We had a really, as unique as it may seem, because of our age gap, we had a very nice time together. And, I just was hoping for the best. I thought if I could see her, we'd see each other. Clearly, I got the message. She don't want to see me. She don't want to hear from me. The protection order is extremely embarrassing. I should have known better after the incident she referenced. There's a lot of misunderstanding about that. It should have never been issued. That was it from a year ago. And that order went through 5 months later over me asking her to stop obsessing and slandering me on social media in a very public way.
I'm not interested in that other.
No, I
what happened in
understand.
Pierce County. I don't have access to that, and that's not really.
I bring it up because I never stalked the woman. And so she's writing this petition. I don't know what he's capable of. The whole thing was ridiculous. And the worst part is the first thing I talked to Ms. Vanacore about was that whole thing. So she knew the whole thing. And she literally said, I would never do that. People should be able to talk to each other. So I never thought we'd get to a place where she'd say, I have to take you to court. I don't know what he's capable of. I was just trying to be sweet. And it's done. The whole thing's done. I get it. It's over. It's done. She doesn't want anything. She doesn't want it remembered. She doesn't want anything to do with me. That's fine. I was just trying. I thought I couldn't lose trying because I liked her.
You live in Pierce County there, is that correct?
I live in Tacoma, yeah.
So Ms. Vanacore, you had wanted to say something and I stopped you. I'll hear from you now if you want to respond to all of that.
Nothing. He's just adding a lot of fluff to it, saying, it just really yeah, he did tell me about that case when we first met. And I figured, okay, so, some women lie, like to get back at how they do that, say that they're, assaulted and they never were. But now this happened to me. That other person, I know you don't want to reference that, but probably had something real.
I mean, I don't know anything about that. That's
No,
a
I
civil
know.
order,
I'm just
just like
saying
this
that
request.
that's, when you're being creeping at my apartment at
Your
9
Honor,
o'clock at night.
if
Okay,
I'm-
again, I stopped her when she was interrupting you, so I'm gonna stop you while
So-
she's speaking. Go ahead.
I'm
So,
sorry,
no, I'm just saying it's really creepy.
Go ahead, Mr. Riccabona. What?
I'm not a creep. I took Miss Vanacore out several occasions. I can't count on my hands. She was going through a divorce. I empathize with her. It was hard for me when I went through mine. We were good company together. We became close and good friends. And then it ended. That's all there is to it. I'm not a creep. She was the kind of person you had to court a lot and get her attention. And then you did, and you saw each other, and she adored it and loved it. We spent weekends together. She told me all the time, "You're very good to me. You're very sweet." She told me a lot of things. I just really liked her. That's all. We live in a crazy world. We do. And yes, she's older than me, but that was part of the reason why I liked her so much. She's from a different era where people talk face to face. It was just really romantic and sweet. And I liked her a lot. That's it. So I was trying to still win her back, which clearly that train left the station. I got the message when she called the police. The window thing, I was at her place all the time she was at mine. The blinds were open and I knocked. She did come up to the window. She was smiling and she said, "What are you doing?" And she laughed. And I said, "I want to give you this." And then she just said like this. She went, "Just a second." And I said, "Okay." And then I waited 5 or 6 minutes. And then she came back, looked me dead in the eyes. Blinds were open. And then shut it just as the police came. And I immediately walked over and I just said, "Hey, I'm really sorry about this." And I identified myself and they said, "Well, what's going on?" I said, "I was trying to be sweet and give this to her. Clearly she doesn't want it." The male officer came back and said, "She doesn't want any contact from you. She doesn't want to hear from you." And I said clearly, and they laughed. And I said, "This doesn't need to be a thing. I'm sorry for the trouble. I hope she knows that." I told them that. I wish to this day they escorted me to her and let me tell her that. I was not trying to bother her like this. I just was holding on to someone I really liked, and I thought maybe we were going to rekindle like we had in the past. It's done. I understand it, and regarding the case she's referenced in here, it's unfathomable to me that she would after she knew all about it, and it just didn't happen. I do feel like she threw it in there to use it against me because she can. I don't know how she thinks I'm a threatening person. I own no weapons. I have no violence. I never was that way with her. She could be verbally abusive and physical, and I handled it like a gentleman.
That's an absolute lie.
Okay,
I have pictures on my phone.
Just wait, ma'am. Go ahead. Anything further, sir?
No, I cared about her. It's over and it's done.
Go ahead, ma'am. What were you going to say?
No, he was saying that we had an argument really bad. Both of us were drinking. I kicked him out of my apartment. He had a company car at the time. He went to a bar and I went to sleep. The next morning I woke up to pictures of him taking a picture of his speedometer doing 120 at a bar with other girls, kissing on his face, and then giving me the finger.
I have to, yeah, may I? I'm sorry.
That you can respond to that.
Yes, that was in July. That was 4 weeks after we were dating. Miss Vanacore, who also made me promise never to call her that because she said her name's Miss Polito. Apparently it hasn't changed.
No, it has not changed.
She was a big, important thing for her. So that night, that was when we broke up in the end of July. She had way too much. I got her home safely. Then when she's on the couch, we engaged. And then out of nowhere, and this would happen sometimes when she's had too much, she just starts flipping and just starts yelling. And she just berated me. And then I just said, I had enough. I just was like, I'm out of here. She is a good person, but when she's had a lot, I don't think she knows the person she becomes. I sped off upset. I got to the bar. I did things I shouldn't have done. I drove too fast on the highway. I apologized to her the next day. I said that was ridiculous behavior. I put myself in danger and other people. It's not acceptable. And I apologized. She well, I won't go into that. But that all said, she said, don't ever call me or contact me again. Don't ever come here. Don't ever call me again. And I just said, I am so sorry. And I kept beating myself up over it. And she never apologized for her behavior. She never has, she never will, she never did. But I always did if something arose. That was bad. So my point is, after that, we still got back together. So a month later, we're still dating again and got even closer. So it wasn't that I'm trying to disrespect her or not adhere to what she's asking. I get it. She's done, but there was always this back and forth. And that's all I can say. She told me to don't contact her in the past, and then we got back together because we saw each other and it took off. So I was trying on February 4th. I just thought if I can give her something sweet and nice, I could talk to her again. That was where my mind was. I regret it because she clearly, when I wrote a nice letter, she blocked it on Facebook. I didn't create a profile to contact her that already existed. I just sent it, and I didn't get she blocked it. I should have got the message. It's done, and I got it now. There does not need a protection order. I never need to see her again, and it's done. I got it. I didn't get it the first time. I wish she told me, the hows and whys or what, but she didn't. And so it's done. I got the message now.
Okay, so my ruling in this case is as follows. First of all, the parties were engaged in a relationship, maybe on again, off again, and then it went off. Ms. Vanacore made a number of affirmative steps to say that it was definitely off. And blocking accounts, blocking attempts to contact through social media. And then following that, and I understand Mr. Riccobono says, well, I was just trying to reach out, which may be true, but that's not the way to do it. To show up after dark, and it wasn't too late, as about 8:45, 8:45, to be knocking on someone's window after dark when that person has blocked you, told you several months ago, I don't want to talk to you anymore. That's going to scare people. It just is. So hang on just a second.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to hopefully, believe it or not, and you might not, I'm just going to make this easy for you in the sense and draw a bright line. And I will enter an order. It'll be in place for 1 year. You're not to contact her. Don't engage in stalking behavior. Don't communicate with her in any way. Don't come within 1,000 feet of her, which should be easy for you if you live up in Pierce County. Don't come within 1,000 feet of, her residence, place of employment, or anything like that. And I understand you disagree with that.
No,
I understand what you told me about what your intentions were, but looking at it objectively, I think when people say that, I don't want to talk to you, they have a right to have that respected. And, maybe there's ways without an order to reach out, but showing up at night on their window outside the apartment, that's problematic. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that I wish she had told me, Nicholas, I don't want to see you, or I'll call the police. Nicholas, it's done. But Your Honor, I wish she blocked me. She had in the past. It was always back and forth. I wish she had said, Nick, really, I don't want to see you. I wish she had told me that. The other thing I will add is I'm already likely going to lose my job over this. This order is not good. It's a priority in motion and a done deal. It's stupid. It was because I cared about somebody, and it's just, the whole thing is just ridiculous and stupid. I wish she just told me.
I did tell him.
Okay, ma'am, I just let him finish.
She sent me a text, I'm not the girl for you. We talked in November. We talked for about 9 or 10 minutes. She'd say what she want to say. Then I go to talk and she'd talk over me and shut it down.
Yeah.
I should have let it be.
Yes, you should have.
I should have. This is my fault. It's not her fault. I know that.
Okay.
I just wanted for the record. I was not trying to upset her.
I'll make copies of this, and she's going to make copies of this. You'll both have copies, and then you're free to go.
Yes, sir.
Well, I think the judge made the right call on that one, because when throughout this whole hearing, he's saying, oh, it's not her fault, this is all my fault, and she's such a good person. He's still trying. He is still trying to manipulate her into seeing him through that oh, she's such a good person, that kind of stuff, he's still working on her. That's my opinion anyway. So he's a creepy guy. She told him go away, and I bet you anything, he was still sitting in his car waiting for her to come out. He may not have said anything to her, but he was going to sit and watch her. That's my thought. He's going to watch her, hoping that she would come up to him and say, okay, I take it all back. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to tell you guys is I am looking into reading stories. I've gotten a lot of comments about reading stories people would like me to read. Stories to their kids, bedtime stories, or stories in general. The only problem I'm running into is copyright, because you can't just take, like a book of short stories and start reading it. That it goes against the copyright. And if I did that, I would get copyright strikes, and I have a feeling everything I have would be taken down. So I'm going to have to look for older stuff that's not under copyright, but I am working on it. I am thinking about it. My brain's turning on it. So thank you guys so much for saying that, and for saying I should do that, because that sounds like kind of fun. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.